Hi everyone, my name is Joy Marino and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making a favorite recipe of mine called creamed corn with bacon and red pepper. And this recipe is to die for. Love it, love it, love it. And our star of the day is Kraft Philadelphia cream cheese. One of my favorites. I use it quite often. It's just really nice to kind of pull a recipe together and you really get that creamy, cheesy, ooey gooey goodness that you don't get when you use just regular cream cheeses. I like to use Philadelphia Kraft cream cheese just for its consistency and the creamy texture. So, alright, first of all, we are going to start with 5 1/4 cups of frozen corn. And I've already got everything kind of pre-measured here, and I'll just kind of explain as I go. So you're going to need a big mixing bowl. You're going to pour the frozen corn here into the mixing bowl, just like that. Okay, and next, what I've done is I sauteed, this is about 1/2 cup of red pepper. And what I did is the recipe calls for red pepper and bacon and cream cheese, of course. And what I did is I sauteed up the bacon first, and I left the bacon grease to saute the red pepper. Anything tastes good cooked in bacon grease, right? Okay. So it just adds a little bit more flavor, gives it that nice salty taste. It's a perfect marriage of sweet and salty, this dish, and it can be used as a side. I'm highlighting it today as a side. It can also be an appetizer, main dish, or a great base for a corn chowder. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 1/2 cup of this sauteed red pepper, and I sauteed it about 2 to 3 minutes. You don't want to overcook it because this dish is going to go in the oven at the end. Oh, and speaking of oven, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350. So get that preheated up as you're cooking. And we're going to take 1/2 cup of the cooked crumbled bacon. And I just went ahead and used, regular store-bought bacon. You can buy the stuff that's already, cooked for you and crumble it up if you're in a crunch for time or whatever. But this recipe really is so easy to put together that, even your husband can do it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add the bacon. And now we're going to add I've got a tablespoon of sugar and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt in here. We're going to go ahead and just kind of put that around the top there so you can get it all nice and mixed in. And we've got about a teaspoon of minced garlic. Okay. Now what we're going to do is get all of our flavors nice and combined. I usually use my hands here. Just want to kind of mix everything up. And the heat of the red pepper will kind of start to melt the corn a little bit. And if you notice that your corn, the frozen corn, I use frozen white corn. If you notice that the corn is kind of starting to clump up a little bit, just let it sit for a little while before you place it in your dish, maybe about 5 extra minutes. Like I said, the warmth from the red pepper that you just sauteed in the lovely bacon drippings will help to meld all that together. Okay, this is a dish that's perfect for those summer potlucks. If you need something quick and something that everybody likes. My kids like this, my husband likes it. This recipe kind of stemmed from, I do a creamed corn, and I have for about the past 3 Thanksgivings. And I use Kraft Philadelphia cream cheese, which is the star player, and corn. And I cook it, I do it in the crock pot. You can also do this in the crock pot. But for this recipe, what I've done is I've added bacon and red pepper because I think those go really well with corn. And I think I mentioned earlier, now you're going to just want to pour this. I've got a 9 by 13 baker here, and you don't need to grease it. The cream cheese and the butter that you're about to add in will kind of help do that for you. This looks so good. And the red pepper just really helps, and the bacon just gives it a nice color. Looks so good. Okay, I'm going to put this aside. Now I've got my 14 ounces of cubed Philadelphia cream cheese. And what you're going to do is just kind of dollop this around the top, like so. Okay. We're going to do the same thing with the butter. You're going to want to make sure that you cube your cream cheese so it doesn't, because you're going to put it in the oven, it does not need to be at room temperature or anything. In fact, it's almost better to cube it when it's a little bit firmer, when it's colder. Okay. Alright, and it's going to look something like this when you've got it all put together, and that took me, what, how long? About 5 minutes to put everything together. It's going to kind of look like this, and you're going to put it into the oven at 350 for about 35 to 40 minutes, or until it gets nice and bubbly around the edges. And you'll know, you can just kind of keep an eye on it. So I've got my oven preheated here, and there you go. I'm going to set my timer for about 35 minutes. I'll keep an eye on it, and this just makes your whole house smell so good. Okay, now for the sampling. And this is what the finished product is going to look like. Are you all ready for this? Right here. Voila. And I'm just going to take a little sample because it smells so good. Wonderful. I just had a few friends come over a few minutes ago to try this, and they said, oh my goodness, we're coming over for dinner later. So good. You can really taste the bacon and the red pepper. And how all the flavors just kind of melt in your mouth. It's like a party in your mouth, really. It's wonderful. This is a winner every time. I'm telling you, if you make this, you're not going to have any leftovers. There will be no leftovers. People are either they're gonna eat it all, or they're gonna take it home with them. They might even steal it. But you don't want them to steal it because you probably cooked it in a nice pretty dish and you don't want to lose your dish. But this is great. Well, thank you for tuning in today, and I'm so excited about this challenge. I want to thank Kraft, and I also want to thank Paula Deen for giving all of us women this great opportunity to do something that we love to do. I'm known in my group and my circle of friends and my peers as the cooker. I'm always cooking something. I've always got something in the oven. I've always got something on the stove. Come to my house anytime, and you know, dinner's on. So this has been a lot of fun for me and for my family, and I want to thank you, and we'll see you in Savannah. Bye-bye.